Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you. It is May 23rd, 2019. And the 23rd is the King of Wands, the Man of Passion. 23 is also a 5 of freedom, expansion. It can be conflict and change. The day adds up to the number 40, which is a 4, but it's also the Page of Cups of that innocent love. And 4 is all about stability and building and structure and manifesting safety and security, like the basic needs on this earth, basically. So with the King of Wands and the Page of Cups, very different energies. Could definitely be father and child energy, but the Page of Cups is about new love, new children. It's all about that innocent, open heart of love. And the King of Wands, Man of Passion. So the read was done at 9:20 to 21 this morning. The major arcana were only Luna, which is the moon, and using the Sirian Starseed deck. Karma was also present, which was underneath the underlying energy, and Karma is the Judgment card traditionally. There were 3 cups, 2 swords, 1 wand, and 4 pentacles. The court cards were the King of Wands, the King of Swords, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. So not only was the Page of Cups and the Knight of Wands in the numbers of the day today, but they were actually the court cards as well, including the King of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. The numbers in the coding today were all about relationship change, following your dreams, and love partnership. And the numbers, we got double 78s, and then 78 came up 2 more times for me. So 78 was huge, and that's the 10 of Pentacles, the end of the Tarot, which is the, the ultimate family life, that 10 of Pentacles. The other numbers that came up were the number 78, separately 7 and 8, 93, which is a 3, then 30 came up, which is the 4 of Wands, which is the union energy, 77, which is the 9 of Pentacles, which is the sovereign, 88, Lionsgate, 88, and then 23 also came up, and this was separate from the 23 of the King of Wands and the date today. So the number came up in the coding as well as the King of Wands, and the day is 23. So King of Wands times 3 here, and that 5 again, and then 3214 came up. 32 is the 6 of Wands, and 14 is the Temperance card, or having patience and balance. 32 is all about getting attention, success, about leading the way, about getting attention. And also for me, like I always say, for King of Wands in this deck, I forget which one it is. I think it's the Universal Golden. He's looking sideways intently. He always looks like he's staring you down. And for me, he comes up often as Metatron. But today, in the numbers, he was coming up here. King of Wands next to the Hierophant for me, which is definitely can be Metatron and God. Like, planning the energies here. With the 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Pentacles, 8-8 for Lionsgate, and it's also the number for me for the 2 sovereigns that, integrated at their 0 point, standing next to each other for the twins, and the 4 of Wands, which is union, and then the 6 of Wands of the journey, and the Temperance card of the angels. So you get my point, the journey of the angels, all those different cards that represent this journey were coming up again in the numbers. So the code line having to do with relationship change, follow your dreams, and love partnership. The coding came up as Ka, and Ka is significant of the soul. It's also the Cirque du Soleil that's in Vegas right now. But the Ka is the Egyptian religion with Ba and Ak. It's the principal aspect of the soul. So for me, that's like that quanta. It's also used definition-wise to make words more feminine in several different languages, and in that was Czech, and then Hungary was the suffix to make things small, young, unimportant, or a term of endearment. So it's to make them childlike or more feminine, or less than the masculine. To diminish the value of, but yet it can be an endearment as well, because cute, small things, we love. It tends to be more feminine. So that was definitely coming up here as well. So I turned the page at 10:01, and of course 10 is the Wheel of Fortune and 1 is the Magician, and going more into what this coding would mean. And I was getting, well, first when I was doing the coding, my son comes in to tell me, because he's home for a month, where he lives, they just had a tornado hit the airport. It was right near the airport where he lives. Unfortunately, it didn't actually hit the airport, so he won't be able to go home. But that came in, which was kind of like the storm that came in then for like a half an hour this morning. And he also said that tornado that hit, which was out in Missouri, it was the exact date 8 years ago where another tornado hit the same place, but like, did a lot more damage. 8 years to the day. So that was May 22nd, yesterday. So the coding was about the divine feminine within the masculine in their balance at 0 point. That 78 came up again with the percentage of the moon being 78% of the full moon today. And then mastering, and then 007 came up, which of course is James Bond. Some other things that came up in the code, besides being feminine, childlike, and life force of the Ka, and then the 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, the ultimate family, pre-new moon, as we're actually right between the full moon and the new moon, and then mastering 007. And of course 7 is that spiritual number, but also coming up as James Bond, secret agent, right? Staying at that 0 point in that perfect flow of balance of the Christ consciousness, or that sea of emotions. And it was all about the emotions of the moon. And through this you will see the key, the emotions of the moon, and teaching yourself how to stay in balance based on the regulation of the different aspects of the moon cycle. So the soul of the twins, of the feminine within the masculine, and the feminine being the small, like inside the masculine, 23 and 8, 531 was coming up as a date as well. I was also getting double gates in the cards today. So double gates are open, or back-to-back gates are open. So that might be why the energies are tougher than usual. Let's see. But yeah, just about the twins being within their human embodiment, in their 0 point balance of the sea of emotions. Okay, and also learning the moon cycles, like where in the moon cycles are you having a great day, and notice where that falls as far as the new moon to the full moon cycles, to kind of find where your best days lie, for dealing with challenging situations or for having a wonderful day. But one thing I was getting was to wait 3 full days from the time of the full moon. So from the time, not the day, but the time of the full moon, 3 full days from that time, the 4th day is actually a really good day to really enjoy yourself. And that actually ended up being yesterday for this moon cycle. So I had a wonderful day yesterday. I went to the beach with my son. It was supposed to be cloudy and only 71 degrees, but it was definitely warmer. That was like a perfect day to be down at the beach, and there wasn't a lot of people around, so it was just very relaxing, and we could goof around on the beach and fall asleep if we wanted to, because it wasn't too hot. The ocean was a little too cold to go into, but I did put my feet in there and splash my face a bit, and it was great for walking in the sun, and just really could feel, both of us, the recharge, how much the sun helps us in feeling better. So a reminder, to make sure you go out and do some fun things. And it was a nice surprise, because I was going to stop at my sister's, just surprising her on the way home, and if she was busy we would just leave, but I wanted her to get a chance to see my son, because she's about 45 minutes away from me. And we stopped there, and it was like 6:30, so we're thinking they probably had dinner already, and we get there and she hadn't eaten, and a friend of ours from my next door neighbor growing up was actually over there visiting, so we ended up all going out to dinner together. So it was a really beautiful day. Also, let's see, so it was about 10:28 to 29 this morning. It just all of a sudden started raining, and then right at 10:30, the thunder started coming in. But it only lasted for a half an hour, and it was like it was showing us the tornado from yesterday. This is the residual from that, just like the butterfly effect. And something about 4.5 days was also coming up. There's some coding I was trying to figure out, but I didn't quite get it yet. But it was part of how the read started as well. It was like the second and third day, and then the space between the words, between the 3 and the 4.5 is the sweet spot, and then 4.567. But the sweet spot was coming up between 3 and 4.5, and 3.5 and 4.5 come up for me all the time. It's not pi, but something similar around that. The coding here was all about the soul, specifically, and the 7 and 8 of Pentacles were coming up as the 7 and 8 of Pentacles, or actually no, the Cups, which is about the having the options and the synchronicities and the walking away and going within. And in the Sirian Starseed deck, that 7 of Cups is very much about taking the steps to heaven, to ascension. So Pi was coming up, Master 007, 8 staying in the flow of the sea of the lunar emotions in order to understand your keys to our changes, to our dreams. So hopefully I can figure out some of the numbers more. I'll let you know if I do. So getting into the read, the underlying energies was that 7 of Cups with karma beneath it. Okay, so it came up like this. Okay, the 7 of Cups, the 7 of Chalices, and then karma is the card beneath it, which is like the judgment card. Taking steps 2 plus 3, and then skipping until 4.5, 6, and 7. Not karma, but ka, soulful heaven, sinks and path of ascension for the emperor, breaking patterns, tripping up. So trip is key here. Taking a break, maybe taking a trip to break things up a bit, to rebalance, to clearly decide, to come clean about skipping steps. It was like the Divine Masculine was clearly deciding now to come clean about the fact that he skipped steps 3 and 4, so he basically tripped up and fell. Maybe some of the Divine Masculines had to repeat a few years in elementary school, which obviously can mess you up if you have to be held back, right? Because then you become very insecure about yourself. But it was definitely coming up around that kind of idea, and it could just be in their steps that they're taking now, that they were trying to skip steps, and then it just screwed them because they had to then do it over. Instead of speeding things up, it slowed things down. But coming up is fall on skipping steps 3 and 4 specifically, and fell at those grades possibly, and had to repeat the grade times 2, messing them up on the way to high school, right? Ascension school. The Queen of Swords speaking with the King of Cups about being strong. Instead of complaining or roaring, time to awaken and free self from separation from self. Or Leo in the Queen of Wands, or Leo in the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups needs to be tempered. So these two people might both have that Leo energy or ego that needs to be tempered. Or just teaching yourself, and even just your children, learning how to calm yourself, like how they can do it on their own without you around, instead of getting impatient or freaking out about things, that kind of thing. So awoke to freedom in the sun, and noticing how things change when the rain sets in. So when I noticed the time of the rain, because it had just rained here, I noticed that it was 30 minutes, and the cards I'm holding literally said 3 and 0. It's always significant. And then the other card with the 3 and 0 was the 12 of the clock. So it was referencing the 30 minutes. And then it was 11:11. As I wrote, the puppy at your heels keeps coming no matter how many times you hurt them. Awakening to abusive animals, and the same to the good people, who some people may deem as weak because they're very kind and loving, unconditionally loving, no matter how many times you try to hurt them, because you think they're idiots or they're weak, and now figuring out, well, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. But that kind of energy was coming through. And the number 714 was coming through as well. I was noticing too, as Ka came up, because that's K-A, I was seeing K on the license plates all the way home yesterday, like double Ks, which was weird. I would see 2 cars back to back with starting at 2 Ks, which I never see. And I always respond, I never say okay, I would just say K in my texting. So that was very significant for the Ka, the soul, the feminine, childlike life force coming through here. As I turn the page at 11:13, and that's justice and transformation, transition, the death card, endings. Lucky leprechaun before, now broken via hanging, but free. So someone might have been hung out to dry, but feels free at least now. The 22nd, which was yesterday, which is a 4, which is the fool who is free after awakening of the 18th full moon. Give it 3 days to settle down. The 4th day is good to hang out. Reconnect by the 30th before the new moon. By June 3rd, the new moon, awakened to separation and freed. And that was significant for me because June 3rd is my father's birthday, and he passed away 2.5 years ago. 3, I was getting the numbers, number-wise, because 3 and 4 were skipped by the masculine, and 3 and 4 are the Empress and the Emperor, which definitely came up in the read today. But 3 is coming up as that third energy, like the third, the odd number, is up in the air. 4th is more grounded, so it's more of a time for you to go out and have fun. Time in the sun recharges, out finding peace. The Queen of Swords reversed, refusing to come full circle and speak her truth. Baby steps with bull and lion, whose worlds are disrupted. Disoriented, dipping toe in the new waters, outside their closed circle, news or message out that they are ending their world, or blaming or spreading rumors about bad sealed divine feminine, or sealing their child away from the child's own truth, disallowing them to speak to the world. So there may be a child of one of the divine masculines who actually wants to go on YouTube or something with their own video, and they may not be allowed to do that. The Queen of Swords speaking truth, and a King of Cups listening, contemplating how to pacify the beast. An idea. Take a leap of faith to separate, like literally a separation in a relationship, not separation from self. But take steps to end karma. And then I was guided to separate the word karma, and I was getting ka, ar, ma. All right, so ka is that feminine or childlike soul. And it was relating that to Ma, the mother. So the mother of the masculine. Judgment, decision, announcement, and call to action of options, steps to take in separation, news, or message. And then separation came up again. So there's definitely separation of some couples here going on. Whether they're just partners, whether it's work relationship, or whether it's a marriage, there are definitely separations coming up here. Underneath separation was flirt, right? It's about being playful and being lighthearted. The moon and the sun came up in the underlying energy as well, and the sun and the moon. These both out. And how each is 12 hours, right? Half a day. And is it really 12 hours? The moon was coming up as the Roman numerals, the XV111, which is referencing to me like XY, plus 3 of that odd number, the 3 that we just said was up in the air, the false light. And then the sun was X1X, as I was holding it with an arrangement of cards, which this then said 10, 1, 10, which is X1X. So there was definitely a sync there. And that was the Ten of Cups with the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So there's absolutely completions going on here. Because besides those two tens, there were two more tens literally on the masculine. And those were Wands and Cups as well. I think so. I'll have to double check that, but was it? Yep. Cups. Yeah. Ten of Cups and Ten of Wands were reversed on how the Divine Masculine sees himself, and right next to it in the underlying energy pile, I had the same. I had the Ten of Wands and the Ten of Cups, along with the Ace of Cups, new beginning, new love. The Moon of drinking and shadiness with friends and feeling like the odd man out. Fifth wheel, mirroring false light. This is like the masculine.
Everything you need to know about Apple products is at Apple's website.
It's like the masculine seeing, you know, what are his options here. So he can be in the moonlight of drinking and shadiness with friends and feeling like the odd man out, the fifth wheel, mirroring the false light, or sun of bliss and full exposure of being tossed out. So I was definitely getting someone kicked out, whether it's the masculine or his partner, which is 2112. And I was getting don't let the door hit you in the ass, okay? So there's definitely that energy there. New love, second chances, dropping burdens, caught with their pants down, or confessions. A man and two crowns running through the gate. Who does he take with him? The one in his bed or the one he cheats with? Fruit, ankle bracelets, and luxury items, or second chance at love and dropping burdens. Frog left out and feels like a third wheel. True love, or war and makeup sex, or leaving family. Maybe a quickie or a one-night stand, and then true love. But it doesn't quite make sense, does it? And now it's at 1147. 47 is that Seven of Cups. All those options, the steps to take, the synchronicities. Heaven in their eyes, right? So what is real and what is not? Then rebirth came up as the underlying energy, which is 16 in the Tower, and underneath that was forgiveness of 96, which is a 6, which love, family, and community. So after the forgiveness was then the rebirth for the masculine, as the Knight of Cups taking off with the Holy Grail, so the cup in hand, in search of freedom, skywriting, and taking a leap of faith. Unhappy, no satisfaction, purging cycles ending as three dark birds fly away. Freedom is swords falling out of his back, allowing the pain to leave. The Emperor separates to find himself, finding being true to himself, offering love. His nature is freedom. The Emperor broken, possibly a cardiac cath, and this doesn't have to be the masculine, or one too many heartbreaks. Time to stand on his own 2 feet and find out who he is. So before I get going on more, there's a lot of people again here. I wasn't really getting the masculine as the Emperor here, but it definitely can be all the same person. It can be the different aspects of the masculine, but I was definitely getting like a father and a mother here, whether it's his parents or the karmic's parents. The Emperor was reversed and the Empress was upright, okay? And the Emperor may actually have some health issues because there's definitely some swords around him. So I don't know if he just went into surgery or he's just suffering emotionally, but it's coming up during the read. But I don't feel like that was the masculine. I feel like it was a father or father-in-law or someone like that. It can be the masculine, though, for some. A slug amongst cups. So the Emperor may feel like a slug amongst cups left all over the yard. So this is somebody who has a lot of parties at their house, whether it's their parties, their wife or girlfriend's parties, or their kids are always having parties and leaving cups all over the yard. It's definitely getting that energy. Another drunken mess to clean up, left for him, or the Divine Masculine. Red, white, and blue, the all-American, trumps for the gold. The sword may be silver, but love the gold coin. Silver and gold and blue eye recipe for heartbreak, whereas going within to the soul of human embodiment is actually going for the gold. Cesare, which is the Italian pronunciation of Caesar, Cesare to trump, root, throat, and purity of integrity above the crown, but separated. That's how they are when they're separated. If you join together as one, blue, red, and white, light, it becomes unity of the violet light. Add gold for the violet flame, and the Christ consciousness is then the gold and white light. Okay? So it is showing you the difference of even the light. When we see red, white, and blue as like the American flag or so many other countries that it is, it comes up in separation. But if you unify all those colors, it's just the same as us trying to bring the people together. Instead of being red, white, and blue and trying to infuse a little gold in there, it actually becomes the gold and violet flame, basically. Okay? The emperor tripped on steps, had to repeat a couple lessons, but now emperor with news of separation, confession, and rebirth after forgiveness. Recently here is the Seven of Orbs, which is like the Seven of Swords, a little different theme here though. Seven of Orbs of justice, truth, and balance, as Libra coming clean to lead the way. Taking steps to receive and pass on downloads perhaps, even if not getting all of it. Like, so they may have been holding back because the logical man doesn't want to go forward with things until they really understand every detail of it and know the outcome, which they can't. They have to let go of that part. Trusting and not worrying about those outcomes. The foundation for the masculine is all about walking away from, or within, from 4.5 to 8, or a little more than half. So people may definitely be walking away from a relationship where it wasn't so bad, it was, they may have left someone, gave them a little more than half, but that came up twice. 4.5 out of 8 came up twice in this read. Same cards. So, in that, to truth and triumph, breaking through the crown, as the Queen of Cups turns away, but off at the same time offers a new life, letting go to fix marriage, contract or commitment, tradition, establishment, religion, Taurus or God, too little, too late, Excalibur wielded, fair is fair. Taurus is gone as May comes to a close. Leo, Pisces, Aries, Aquarius are now walked away from. And that was at 12/12. And 12 is the hangman. It's also a completion though. So that's all about wisdom. And as we turn the page, it was 12/13, which again is the death, transition, transformation, and ending card. And the underlying energies came up here as Aries. The Emperor came up twice in the underlying energies, both times upright. But then I pulled some cards after this read, and then the Emperor was reversed in a lot of pain. So something might have specifically happened today. The Aries came up upright very profoundly in the underlying energies as the Emperor. Pisces was upright, Aquarius reversed, Leo, Queen of Wands specifically, was reversed, Cancer upright, Libra upright, Taurus upright. And then the Queen of Wands was upright, Queen of Cups was upright, Queen of Wands reversed, Emperor upright, Knight of Cups upright, King of Cups upright, and Queen of Swords upright. So everybody here was upright except for the Queen of Wands in the underlying energy. So centrally working to align with destiny, over loss of Aquarius and dumping attachments, healing and dreaming and shining light in knowing and inspired. Sweet judgment of divine feminine and his inner child by the King of Wands shaman, coming up in the crowning position. Okay, so the central card was about the Eight of Crystals working to align, which is like the Eight of Pentacles. And then we had the challenge of the moon, all right? We just had the full moon on the 18th. So coming down from this emotional full moon, there's a lot of dark emotions there coming up. So a dark wave of emotion with Scorpio full moon passing, detoxing chaos of leaving Queen of Wands inspired, her making him possibly feel guilt and shame for leaving his children. And what kind of father are you? So it's just getting those kind of energies, kind of nasty. Or imprisoned on journey but not moving ahead. Or someone's been stealing, getting out of Dodge now, masculine, freeing himself from a circus or a den of thieves. And that's come up before. Or someone just got out of prison And now the masculine's taken off before he has to deal with that person ever again. Libra, Aquarius, Cancer reversed, and Capricorn reversed came up there. Could be the Queen of Wands, Leo, with Capricorn and Cancer in her chart, was the one who just got out of prison, or a child, or she acts like a child, or getting kids to bring the masculine back. Mommy's minions were coming up here. So now crowning is that King of Wands shaman. Okay, and here we are with the King of Wands shaman on 523, which is all about Taurus and the King of Wands. So Taurus was coming up here, and or Aquarius with that King of Wands, which could be a female as well. It was coming up because it was coming up with the Queen of Pentacles. So it could be a man, could be a woman. It depends on your situation. But I'm telling you now, the Queen of Pentacles upright came up on him. So it could be that King of Wands who may have Taurus and or Aquarius. One or the other, doesn't have to be both. But the Queen of Wands upright was definitely connected to the King of Wands and Page of Wands, choosing path of Empress upright, giving up wounds and a negative past, bad memories, and to be patient with the Queen of Cups, Sagittarius, or Queen of Cups and Sagittarius, looking for the King of Wands, while the Emperor looks away with the Queen of Pentacles. So it looked like there was two sides here. The Emperor with the Queen of Pentacles were both looking one direction, and then the Queen of Cups and Sag, or it could be one person, the Queen of Cups could be a Sagittarius, were looking at the King of Wands shaman, and he's just looking straight forward. But they're like on board with him, or looking to him for help, and then the Queen of Pentacles and Emperor were not paying attention. They're doing something else. The Empress could be a Sagittarius and or the Queen of Cups, or both, or they could be two separate people. The Queen of Pentacles and or King of Wands, wounded warriors, giving up past wounds. All right, so they could be the same person, but if they're separate people, they're both coming up as wounded warriors, but giving up their past wounds. So letting go of their past wounds, which is good. The Emperor and Empress both are upright, but they're not together, nor are they facing each other. So it could be a set of parents, who've been together forever, and they could give a crap if they're together or not, but they stay together because it's secure for them, and they're just used to their life that way. And they could be also the King and Queen of Cups, could be the same as the Emperor and the Empress. Divine Feminine and Little Boy may be called by the King of Wands. So the King of Wands could be a masculine, but it may not be, because the masculine's coming up as seeing himself as the King of Swords here. So the Divine Feminine and Little Boy could be called by a King of Wands. It could be the masculine or somebody else related to the King of Wands, or the Knight of Wands just feeling called to action, or he could be judging, or he could be making a decision about the situation. Aquarius longing for Leo, wounded warrior, third party, to burn the past in a confession perhaps, or the King of Wands announces longing for twin to a Leo, or just strong wounded warrior, or feeling tackled by Leo and telling third party to burn the past so that they can start over once he has justice, or once he's divorced, or Libra walks away, or offers new life to a 5D partner. The King of Wands has been quiet, may have been unaware, or someone else might have been unaware. He might have wanted to keep it that way. And now secret may be out about loss of money, power, independence in a breakup, or disconnect from workplace, or that could be kids spending all their money as well, but a disconnect from a workplace, marriage, church, school, or place of co-creation, of a work, love, Queen of Cups soulmate connection, and that was at 1244, and 44 is the mastering and integrating. As we turn the page, it's 1245, and 45 is the Five of Cups, of having trouble letting go of the old, right? It's that grief card where you need to pass on the baton in order to get the new. That's, it's having trouble letting go. And with the 12 of wisdom, it's time to let go and burn the past, to offer something healthy for karmic to be able to reap some rewards within the harsh truth he may be revealing to them. Okay, so the Queen of Cups can come up as the karmic soulmate of the masculine. It can come up as his mother. The Empress could be also the Queen of Cups, and this could also be a divine feminine, so it just depends on your situation. But this Queen of Cups is offering money or a new life to the masculine, but she's got her back turned while she's doing it. So she may be not really talking to the masculine, but wanting to offer him money to bring him back into the fold. Or she may be the divine feminine who's been hurt by the masculine, trying to offer him a new life. But it just depends on your situation here and who she is. She could definitely be a mother. So soon for the masculine is the Five of Crystals here, which could be just self-imposed exile from the group or the family or some friends. Libra, self-imposed isolation, coming out to implement a plan to ground and integrate a love that had been offered. Sovereigns with opportunity to work with him, or him just working like an assembly line day and night, night and day, to make money for the kids waiting for handouts or money for school, trying to recover what was lost in a theft or a breakup, or kids working with him now to learn the trade. He is the King of Swords. This is how he sees himself, ending major cycles of family and associated burdens. So like I said, masculine seeing himself as the King of Swords, and we have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Wands clarifying this card both reversed, like totally done with those two parts of the end of cycles. There was definitely the Ten of Swords, and even if not in that read, when I pulled some more cards, definitely the Ten of Swords was coming up reversed as well. So it's like major endings here. Worth waiting for came up, as well as playfulness and honeymoon, possibly with an angel. Around the masculine, or how he's seen, is the Trinity, or the Three of Crystals, which is like the Three of Pentacles. Dumped to walk away, leaving behind 4.5 out of 8 again. So definitely somebody's walking away from something they've worked very hard to achieve, or something they've worked very long with to achieve. But they're walking away to go within, without a car possibly, or just away from chaos, away from war and blocks and frustrations, anger, and no creative growth. The masculine needs to clear blocks of the Page of Cups, that innocent open heart, which he may not have respected before, thinking someone like that may be weak, like a child. But actually he needs to learn to clear blocks about an open heart and or innocence, okay? Sharing in the aftermath of fall of Jack and Jill, needing courage and or strength to manifest and make magic with Sovereign or himself. Relationship change, like I said, came up, follow your dreams and love partnership, but even more so physical activity. With the mirror reflection of the Queen of Swords, High Priestess and or Secret with keys, Knight of Crystals proposes harsh truth of karmic and walking away to offer a new life in the 5D with the High Priestess, Queen of Swords, letting go of their wounds. The Knight of Pentacles, so this is what he needs to learn to clear blocks around. This is beautiful, pure love, right? Which they may not get that because it may have always been taught to be weakness for them. And then we have the Adept of Crystals and the Two of Crystals back to back as the last cards, this being the after the read card, but they're both pentacles of a proposal, and for you see in this deck, the Two of Pentacles is very much about surrender. Okay, so we have the proposal of the Knight of Pentacles and the surrender here. So the King of Pentacles surrendering and letting go of the battle with karmic and instability due to rehab, arrest, or handcuffs, drug or alcohol use, or chronic illness and or hospitalization, now moving to get relief. Awakened to the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords in a duel, possibly, one talking and one doing, but not facing each other. The Knight of Wands looks back, or goes back, to the past, where King of Pentacles over the Knight of Wands and Queen of Swords differences. He's over their differences and now stable with family legacy on top. But that family trumps King of Pentacles past, which trumps awakening of the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles surrendering to we are more than we think and must surrender to our mastering our world through connection to the collective consciousness. So the masculine realizing it's not about the family, it's about the family through yourself, the collective consciousness, that's so much above all of our smaller petty stuff. But it's the masculine getting this stuff. Someone may be deliberating a sentence of pain for angels. The King of Cups suffers, purging and stressed over the Knight of Cups, offering love to a King of Wands. The pain of being patient and not deciding, that is the Y in the road, the Y chromosome of the masculine, transmuting for unconditional love to offer love to the King of Wands. Now there could be a lot of different situations with all these different players. Like I said, the Emperor was upright in the underlying energy here, but I did a spread right after that, a smaller one, not with the big deck. And the Emperor is now reversed in a lot of pain. I was definitely getting, since the Emperor and Empress can both be the King and Queen of Cups, that makes sense that could be the masculine's mother or mother-in-law who had been offering him a new life, but kind of turning her back to him while she's doing it, just to get him back, because it's really about their security, not about him. But taking steps, masculine taking steps to have karma left behind, an open heart to innocence and love blindly. Taking risks to be authentic self. King of Swords letting go of that which no longer serves his emotional and his physical world. The now moment is shaman energy, working alone at work to propose surrender to the ultimate dream family by mastering his manifestation abilities, and the Queen of Swords talking about it, while in the background the feminine may be working out and being more physical, just keeping busy, running around doing errands or having fun and awakening to new ideas. And that was at 116, which is the Tower moment. But this King of Wands doesn't have to be the masculine, since he sees himself as the King of Swords. There's a couple different scenarios that could be here, which may be a little bit more of darker energy, and why there's some division of family right here. The issue in this read is all about aligning at work and his codes for the masculine. And the challenge is that full moon with the dark emotions coming up from probably childhood. Because, right, there's some very deep and dark emotions. This is the challenge of the read. Is he his workplace? Is he his work? Or is that actually who he is? Or is he love and surrender to the higher love? Taking steps to walk away, the King of Swords, from Trinity or his workplace, and taking a risk of passing on downloads even if he doesn't get it completely. Aligning with that, challenged by the moon cycles or the feminine energy, which they are now aligning with because they're not used to all that feminine energy, apart from the crowd or group, with new love as shaman proposing surrendering to choice, so the shaman could be the divine feminine as well. Co-creation, the Y in the road, the decision is on the masculine. Ending karma with judgment and synchronicities, to downloads and risk of the Emperor and leaving it behind or him behind in a separation of work, challenged by the moon cycles and night emotions, to shaman King of Wands, who could be the feminine or someone else, but the Queen of Pentacles was definitely on the shaman King of Wands. The King of Swords, though, in exile, to offer self-surrender, workplace new love, innocence of proposal to surrender with her. The divine masculine may need to make peace with the King of Cups and King of Wands being together, so there may be a walking away from a father, business, or brother and or a partner, so they're needing to make peace with each other and they may not all get along. Or there may be a lot of pain between an Aquarius reversed and a Sagittarius upright, or the King of Cups father crying or stressed because the Sun, the Knight of Cups, is offering love or forgiving King of Wands brother or friend, and maybe bad blood between them. So the father may be worried about that, or he may not like it, and it's fine with the masculine. Or the Emperor and Empress could be the King of Cups and Queen of Cups parents of divine masculine or karmic who favor the King of Wands and the King of Pentacles, or maybe the divine masculine siblings or karmic siblings and in-laws, which, like, you know, there's been the parents are showing favoritism to one or the other, whether it's the masculine's brother and sister or others, depending on how many kids there may be in their family, or it could be his in-laws and them favoring the karmic and her siblings, her brothers specifically, as the King of Wands. Or that, like I said, could be the Divine Feminine. Or one of the parents could side with the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine, and the other parents not, are totally in support of the rest of the family. So there could be all these different scenarios. As you see, it's very clear that way. The Queen of Cups could be the Empress, Taurus, Sagittarius, and King of Cups could be the Emperor and or King of Wands Shaman at the same time. Or the King of Wands Shaman could be the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Cups father is stressed or crying that his son was offering love to a shaman Queen of Pentacles, because that's not something he agrees with, or a King of Wands man, where someone comes out as being gay. Or the King of Cups Emperor is in love with King of Wands, and the Empress Queen of Cups has made peace with it. So maybe this is the parents where someone comes up out as being gay, and they're still married, and the Empress is fine with it because she's been with him forever anyway. It doesn't really faze her anymore. But it may have been a long time coming to get to this place where someone is gay, but they're staying married or whatever. Who knows what the situation is. But that's one scenario. The Queen of Swords is the Divine Masculine walking away from a money offer of the Queen of Cups to stay married. The Queen of Cups could be the Empress mother or mother-in-law or grandparent, or the Queen of Cups could be the daughter of the Empress. So that would be the karmic and the mother, and them offering him money to stay. If there is a gay father or uncle here, there may have been some past sexual abuse within the family of the Divine Masculine that was kept, or the karmic, that has been kept hush-hush, and there may be something that this is what they bonded on when they first met, potentially, and especially due to children involved, because they would have been children at the time. Okay, so it was always pushed down and kept hush so that nobody would get into trouble, or the kids were just ashamed so they wouldn't bring it up as well. So that was definitely some issues coming up. Some of the some quick things that were coming up in the quick read I did after this, which was definitely bringing up some of the same energies. Now 3 10s came up, all right, as where there was all those 10s coming up in this read. 3 more 10s came up, as well as 2 1s. 2 gates open back to back. Compassion Pink and Root Red came up, as well as the Constant Gardener, manifesting growth amidst death and dying, able to grow even from a prison. From the darkest nights comes growth. Also, I was getting on Knock Your Block Off, Charlie Brown, so that Lucy and Charlie Brown thing. And also the rising of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Also, there may be some people feeling sick, crying, vomiting, stressed out, in a purge, and not knowing what it is. And was there anything else here? But like I said, the Emperor, who was upright in the underlying energy in the first read, was then reversed in extreme pain in the second. So someone might have had a heart attack or something like that. Hopefully nobody passed, but you would know if that occurred, is around this Emperor reversed. With the tower, and he's the Emperor's reversed next to the Tower reversed. So whatever happened already, and this is basically in the aftermath of whatever drama happened. Also could just be as simple as epiphany, but purging out in pain, emotional pain, doesn't have to be physical. But that was definitely coming up here. So there's a lot of big changes going on. The where did I write them down? The body of the read signs were Sagittarius upright, Aquarius was upright in reverse, Pisces reversed, Libra upright, Taurus upright, Capricorn reversed, Virgo both upright and reversed, Cancer reversed, Scorpio reversed, Gemini upright, Leo reversed, and Aries really was not present at all in the body of the read, although very significant in the underlying, because that was the Emperor. And then, just to recap here, in this second read, just to give you a recap of some of the players that were in the first read, the Emperor came up reversed next to, not right next to, but in the same area as the King of Pentacles reversed. Coming up purging the King of Pentacles, though, more so purging, crying, vomiting, pain, both between both of them. So if they're sick or they're we're having a big fight about something that was very deep. The Queen of Pentacles was upright, though, in the recent past position, who could be a Leo or just happy, exposing the King of Swords, who is upright, and the Empress upright. or they may have been, she may be exposing those two, or they're just one happy group because they were all upright. May have exposed or be happy about what's happening to this emperor because maybe they don't like him. The Queen of Swords came up as the challenge in this read, but they were all upright. The Knight of Cups was upright, the King of Wands was upright. The only one who was reversed was, the only ones that were reversed is the Emperor reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed, which could be two separate people arguing in a big family feud, or actually the same person, could be. But they were purging, crying, vomiting, or pain. All those things were coming up. And again, the Queen of Cups offering money. Again, the same two cards came up together, even though I shuffled, to a group or to friends. But again, the Queen of Cups was upright, but her back was to whoever she was offering this new life to or the money to, whether it was a group or friends, or could be feeding more life to the party or to the gossip or to the third energy or the third party in the situation. But it wasn't real clear what was happening at the end there. There's definitely endings though, because the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Wands came up this time upright, but still ending cycles there. Okay, so that's a lot. There's a lot of people. Yeah. Also, like a Queen of Pentacles could be fighting with a Queen of Swords in relation to the Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, who could be related to the pain of the Emperor, could be fighting with the Queen of Swords, who's the challenge for the masculine. A burden, or just a lot of heavy work, all relating to the Knight of Cups, wanting to offer love. They were all in the same line. So these two queens and fighting over the Knight of Cups. But the masculine was the Ace of Wands in this read. So there's big passion here for the masculine, and then it ends up with the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Cups above it. So there's definitely some changes going on here, and there's some happy people, and somebody else is not good. So it could have been a really bad man who did mean things to people or abused people. That was the big family secret, and maybe they had a heart attack. Or maybe they're just going through a lot of emotional pain. But that's how it went. I have a new deck too. I picked up when I was at the beach. It's called the Good Tarot, or the Good Tarot, however you want to pronounce it, by Colette Baron Reed. And I'm just going to pick a card from it, see what comes up. I already shuffled. I'll shuffle one more time. They're very pretty cards. But they're very thin also. They bend very easily, so I don't know how long it's going to last. Let's see what comes up for you guys in this card, in this deck. Alright, for this May 23rd, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And this one was sticking out. It's the Star reversed. Is that the Star? Yep, Star reversed. This is how it came out. Okay? But this is what it looks like upright. I'm not familiar with any of these yet. This is the first time I'm looking at these, so. But Star reversed is definitely some losing hope and that kind of thing, depression. There's a couple more cards that want to come out here, so let me pull out what these cards are. Alright. So along with this Star reversed comes out Justice reversed, so someone feels like something is unfair. Two of Fires, the Two of Wands. Right, so needing to choose a path. With the Three of Cups, which came out the end of that read, of joy. And then the Ace of Air, which is the truth. And then the Two of Air, which is being in your knowing. Okay, so remember, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And injustice coming up just means you may want to stop fighting for this justice. It may not be worth it to just choose your path of joy, of truth, and of your knowing. Very important. I'm going to show you these cards. Right, so Justice, this is the upright, so you can see the card. Okay, but it was coming up reversed. The rest of the cards all came up upright. Okay, and that was the 1 and 2 of air, so the ace and 2 of air, and the 3 of water, the 2 of fire. So we had 2 2s, an ace, and a 3. This is the 2 of air. The ace of air, and there's actually 2 birds on her hand in that picture. It's very pretty. This is the ace of air. Okay, so we have this is definitely a unicorn. There's definitely a horn on his head. And then the 3 of wands is the mermaid. Or the 3 of water, I'm sorry, it's like the 3 of cups. And then the 2 of fire here is a giraffe. Okay, and choosing a path. Okay. So that was a lot. You know what, I might as well just do the oracle cards in this because we're already at 55 minutes anyway, so I'm going to pull you some oracle cards here real quick too. I'm going to show you the read before I forget. This is the basic read from today. And here's the full read. Okay. That's one of the cards that came up. These are just some of the there was a few extra cards at the top at the end of the read that may not have been seen in that full shot. Yeah. Alright, and let's see, we'll just do, I'm not going to do a ton of oracle cards, but I'll do a few. Let's see what we get from the Ascension deck this May 23rd, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Transform, transcend, clear. We're clearing and aligning, filled with only beautiful, organic love and direct light. Everyone take a deep breath. Let's clear all the negative energy. Alright. We're armoring ourselves with God's love. Filling the empty spaces with only beautiful, organic love and diamond light. And for everyone watching, and the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know, what do we need to learn? Okay, what is it we need to learn? Okay, this is just going to be counting for these. That's it. Yep. The bottom is Commander Ashtar, number 39. 39 is the Knight of Cups, which definitely came up upright in the reads. Offering love. And you can read that yourself if you would like to. I connect with Commander Ashtar to serve the universe. The one card that came out is 29, which is the 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands is all about, can be waiting for your ship to come in, or it can be about staying present and really noticing the beauty around you in the moment. The Intergalactic Council says, the Intergalactic Council of 12 great masters, and 12 had come up already, makes decisions for the highest good of this universe. The council includes Marco, Hilarion, Jesus, Ashtar, Kuthumi, Almoria, Paul the Venetian, Saint Germain, Kuan Yin, Lady Nada, Serapis Bey, and Lord Maitreya. Saying or thinking their names raises your frequency. Recognize you are a multidimensional being, connect with your deepest wisdom, and focus on the well-being of the universe. Your guidance is to ask Universal Angel Butjalil to take you to the Intergalactic Council in meditation or sleep, and offer to serve the universe. This will greatly expand your consciousness. And the affirmation is, I visit the Intergalactic Council today. Okay, so that was your main card. So you might want to try to do that in meditation. Then we have cards I have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 plus 1, so it's the 6 of love, and then the 7 of it's that very spiritual number. It's the calm before the storm, but it's also the Chariot, which is very powerful in that calm before the storm, because it projects into the storm, doesn't it? Alright, so, and just as a quickie to tell you what cards came up, Neptune 19, the Gold Ray of Christ, number 5, or Orion 18 came up, Kuan Yin 43, so 18 of course is the Moon, 43 is the 3 of Cups, which came up, 5 is the Hierophant, 19 is the Sun. Mother Mary's Aquamarine Mantle came up, which is 52, and the Queen of Swords, and then Paul the Venetian, which is 37 at the top. Alright, cultivation. It's about being creative and harmonious. 6 and the 7. Alright. So I'm going to call on the Intergalactic Council and see what they have to say for the past life deck. Okay, so the past life deck here. Okay, here in a line, so that would be the second. Love and take a deep breath, everyone. Alright, so May 23, 2019, for everyone watching, the best and highest good of always concerned, what do we need to know, what do we need to learn? We're asking the Intergalactic Council for your wisdom. What is your guidance today? From the Intergalactic Council, please. Okay, one popped. Alright, so this one came out in the opposite direction. It's Greco-Roman. I wanted to pull out with wars and battles, and then monk or nun reversed, and galactic are the only other ones that came up here. Okay, so I'll show you in a minute. The bottom of the deck is forgiveness with the purity of the birds. So forgiveness definitely came up in the read today as well. So very important to forgive. Authority figures reversed is behind that. Okay. So letting go of the injustice of the court system and forgiving so that you can be happy. Greco-Roman came up, so we have the Lincoln Memorial, so definitely U.S. government's coming up here as well as the Colosseum. Alright, so there's definitely fighting going on from long ago. Allowing the sun to break through. Oh, very interesting. I was taking some pictures of the clouds this morning, and one of the clouds looked like the A-OK, like A-OK. And yesterday when we were at the beach, some really cool cloud formations came up with the sun, and my son was putting up his hand to make shapes. Some really cool pictures came up with the sun. I'll probably post them. But the one came up like in the exact position of the cloud that came up today, so I'm probably going to crop that into that to show you the reflection of his hand, and then that was yesterday, and I got the same shape of cloud today. Maybe things are A-OK. Alright, so we have the Greco-Roman, but it looks like Lincoln Memorial as well, right? And then we have wars and battles of the Confederates. Okay. So, civil wars in the U.S. So some of those wounds may be coming up for the specific to the Civil War in the United States. It's specific to the South. I was just getting south of the Mason-Dixon line. Let's see what else comes up. These two came up together, monk or nun reversed, and then galactic. Alright. And so with the council, it's the Intergalactic Council we requested here. So we have galactic coming up here with the kite, the dipper, little dippers and the big dipper, and the North Star. Follow your true north. Do not be a monk or a nun. It's time to come out from sealing your energy to share it with others, including universal beings. Okay, so you need to release any wounds around being a monk or a nun, so vows of silence, celibacy, hunger, whatever it is. Release all that. Don't be it's saying to come out now. Don't isolate. Don't over-isolate and be a hermit. And also connect with your galactic friends as well. I'm getting Ben Franklin again with the kite. Why am I getting Ben Franklin? Reference to the Civil War. I'm getting, don't be a stranger now. Come back, y'all. Like I was getting Southern hospitality. Don't be a stranger now. Come back, y'all. Pardon my Southern accent. It's not very good. But I was definitely getting the Southern stuff about the Civil War here. What else am I getting? Bear with me for just 1 second. I'm also getting not just the Colosseum, but the Pantheon I was getting as well. That was coming up for me. So something about the Pantheon in Rome. And also getting the Parthenon. Alright, so their temples in Greece and Rome are coming up. Parthenon as well. Which is very much, the Parthenon. They're guiding me to this because the Parthenon looks like that as well. And looking that up, Nashville came up top there, which is the south. So Nashville in the south, and the Parthenon in Rome and Greece. All right, so it's pulling me to all the things I can't remember the names of, and referencing what they're talking about. So the Parthenon and the Pantheon, and I'm trying to pick up if there's something about it that I'm supposed to tell you. I don't know if it was like it's in reference, as if it's paralleling our Civil War of the Northerners and the Southerners to the Greeks and the Romans. That's what I'm getting. And how your galactic friends are always intervening on your behalf and helping you out. Like the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper. And Ben Franklin with the kite. They're saying they're always there trying to help you, but you have to ask for their help. And don't be a stranger. Come back, y'all. I love that. All right, so that's it for your Intergalactic Council. And we'll do a quick Journey of Love card. Journey of Love. I love that message. Don't come back, y'all. Or don't be a stranger now. Come back, y'all. Right. Journey of Love. Again, this is May 23rd, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Okay. And you have to forgive me with history. History is my worst subject. I did not like history when I was young, so I'm kind of ignorant that way. So please forgive me if I say stupid things sometimes if I'm not familiar with certain things in history, okay? And even if I would have forgotten it now anyway with my brain issues, so. All right, so from the Galactic Council, Intergalactic Council, what is our message here? The best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Intergalactic Council, please, everyone take a deep breath. Okay, and I just have some to count here as well. Okay, keep them separate. All right, 3 piles to count. All right, the bottom of the deck is Legacy of Light. And definitely family legacy was coming up a lot today with the 78 and within the read. It's number 53, which is like a catapult, and 53 is also the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth. Okay, Legacy of Light. So that's the underlying energy. The card that did come out that I'll read for you is Drop into Your Heart, 68, which is the Page of Pentacles. So there may be an opportunity to learn, an invitation to be a student again, to get something off the ground that you had trouble with before by dropping into your heart space. And we have, of course, the green and the magenta there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the first pile is 7, and the top card is the Blood Dance, number 42. And it was just 1, 10, 40. 39 and 40 is the Knight and Page of Cups. Then the second pile has 1, 2, 3, 4 cards here. And the top card is Becoming, which is 34 of the 8 of Wands. Okay, that's a 7, but it's the 8 of Wands. I like that, the colors in that card. So it's 7 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is perfect, 78, because 78, 7 and 8 kept coming up together today. And it was just 1, 11, 11. Earth Angel is 54. Okay, I love this card too, the colors in it. Just for me. 54 is the Page of Swords, the 8 of Wands, and the 42, the 2 of Cups. And it was, yeah, 7 and 4. So he's 7 and 4 and then 8. So the problem with the family is the Emperor. Emperor's in the middle of the family, which is definitely what came up in the read. So it's confirming that for us, all right? We have 78, but the 4 of the Emperor is in between. It's getting in the middle of the family. And then we have the Page of Pentacles over here, which could definitely be the masculine, okay? So you have the 7 and 8, which is 15, plus the 4 is the 19. So the 7, of course, is the Chariot, and the 8 is Strength, and Leo and Cancer. And then the Emperor's Aries. Chariots of Fire is definitely coming up here. But we have then we have the Sun, because everything adds up. The 7 and the 8 and the 4 is 19 of the Sun. So it's very masculine energy with the Emperor getting in the middle of the family. And then the Page of Pentacles is dropping into your heart, which makes it 20 of Judgment, Justice, making a decision. Remember that the masculine needs to make the decision, make the judgment call. That's that traditional role of the masculine energy, whether it's within the masculine or the feminine. So, but we have 20 altogether, and I'm going to read that one for you. 7, 4, 8. And 74 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of Pentacles, which is that, you know, it's sharing and balancing, equitable distribution. There definitely could be a family war here about separating a family or a business, and or both. And we're going to read Drop into Your Heart, 68. But everyone looks good except for the Emperor at this point, so. Alright, drop into your heart. There's a place of light, and also the Queen of Wands was reversed in the read, so. There's a place of light within that no darkness can touch. It cannot be shamed, it can never be made impure, it is never lost or darkened or unavailable to us. Though we may forget sometimes, sitting in a darkened room and not realizing we can stand up and walk into the light so close to us, just on the other side of the doorway to the heart. Whatever may arise, great joy, great sorrow, drop into your heart and offer to the divine, gently bowing your forehead into your hands in prayer. Connect mind to heart. Let yourself have some peace. It wants you, you know. This oracle brings you an offering. Spirit's connecting with me. The divine would like you to offer whatever is bringing your heart trouble. So someone might be having heart trouble, or of course joy. The divine would like to receive this from you as a gift, that it may return to you some special blessing. Place your hands at your heart, and in genuine reflection, perhaps you may choose to offer your heart burden or light now. Either will be joyfully received by the divine, and you shall be graced with a gift in return. And it was just 1, 14, 41. Okay, so it's 1 of the Magician, 14 of the Temperance Angels, and 41 of the Ace of Cups, which is new love, spiritual love, self-love. And the poem simply states, longing, the dance to move beyond the feeling that draws me forward to a place born within that calls my soul to feel complete. Longing. Okay. So there's a purpose to this longingness. And allow it to unfold by dropping into your heart, doing the blood dance. Allow the sun, 19 was big, and then the judgment. Don't worry about the word judgment. Judgment for yourself. We make judgments every day. When we decide, we make a judgment. So it's okay to make judgments for yourself. It's your job to decide for yourself. You're always going to be that Y in the road making a decision. The problem isn't this decision. It's not making the decision. It's not the choice on which path you take. It's the staying in that perpetual uncomfortable place, which is hurting yourself. That is the issue. So it's about making that decision, but not others for them. That's judgment of others. When we say there's something wrong with them or they didn't make the correct choice, that's us stepping on someone else's toes, invading their energy, when it's their choice to be exactly what they want to be and who they are. We are only in charge of making our own choices here. Okay, so that's about the sun of the masculine energy, the masculine within each of us, and making sure to get outside and get plenty of sun, but the masculine within each of us to be that happiness and decisive, as opposed to indecisive and vacillating in prison and anxiety and stress in your head and fear. We're letting go of that. The job of the masculine energy in each of us to be decisive and take action when needed. So that's very important there. All right, and then we all have the feminine energy of the soft, loving innocence that was also coming up in the read. So very important to note. And I gave you, I think, yep, all the pictures that you need. Make sure you drink your water. I was definitely getting dehydrated when I got back from the gym. I was feeling nauseous, so you might have some nausea coming up here. I was also getting vomiting in the read, so that might be an issue for some. And get your rest. I didn't rest much last night, but I'm doing okay. Rise and be loved.